Yes team, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be me walking through how I structure my leg day for maximum gains, but I got a feeling that this session is going to be a very challenging one because I haven't trained legs in 2 weeks, I think it is now. Usually my split is run push pull legs off, push pull legs off, and I simply just repeat. But with obviously the two shows that I done, we did completely remove legs just to wash off fatigue and inflammation through my legs, and to also just get a little bit more upper body work in, because at the end of the day, men's physique, they don't judge your legs anyway. So what we done to wash off fatigue was remove cardio and also no leg training. But since I got off stage last Saturday, we're not going to be competing until next Sunday. So we've got a week free. It's not like back-to-back peak weeks like it was. You know, we've got this week where there is no peak week, and then next week is going to be peak week. So we're able to actually train legs this week twice. So I've done push, I've done pull, got legs today with it being Wednesday, rest day tomorrow, push, pull legs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, rest Monday, and then it's peak week then. So push, pull, pump, like pump work for push and pull, then a rest day. We have our last training day of prep on Friday, which will be an upper body day. We'll rest on the Saturday because that will just be getting my tan, feet up, chilling out, keeping stress low, and then we compete on the Sunday. So, feeling as good as I can, Sleep is still non-existent. I've been up since like 3 o'clock this morning, prepped all my food for the day, done massive bulk of work, you know, so we're at the gym and we're ready to train legs. But body weight this morning was 89.2. I think the lowest my body weight has been in prep is like 88.5. If I just have a quick look, the lowest my body weight has been is 88.45. And then we ran 2 high days and I went 88.6, 90.3. No, sorry, the 88.4, we ran the high day. We competed on Saturday at 88.6, and then after that we were 90. So it's coming back down very nicely. You know, things are in a good spot. You know, I'm just on usual training day food, which training day food is currently sitting at 2,800 calories, 225 protein, 368 carb, 48 fat, and then non-training days 2,500, 218 protein, 290 carb, 60 fat. So food's in a decent position. Like, I am hungry, you know, like it's one of those where obviously calories are just subjective. You know, when I finished my off season, I was like over 5k. So being on this food, hunger is present, but it's inevitable. You know, we're, what is it, like 11 days out from show. But I think essentially this is the last week of fat loss. You know, last week of fat loss now before we start loading up from, I would say Thursday, I would say Friday actually, because we're competing on Sunday. So it'll probably just be like a try load Friday, load Saturday, and then compete on the Sunday. And hopefully I'm not on at like 4 o'clock like I was in the last PCA show. You know, I was on at 1:30 in the 2 bros. And that was ideal. You know, you're not waiting around all day. So I'll know the times next week because they'll email the times out. But I'm hoping around midday. Because when you're up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, then you wait until 4 o'clock to compete. It's just a fucking drag. So we'll see. Hopefully it won't be too late. But yeah, that's just a bit of an update on where I'm at. Leg day going down. How the session is going to run will be, where's my other phone? So how the session is going to run is going to be legs A. Let's have a scan. So it's going to run as ab crunch to start, 2 sets of 10 to 15, but I won't film that. I'll just film the leg day stuff because I want it to be a leg day video. Then we've got calf raise, then adductor, seated curl, hack squat, leg press, leg extension, and then split squat. So we're going to get it cracked. We're going to get in there. We're going to get the job done. We're going to leave, go Tesco's, a few bits I need to grab, and then we go back for a big day of work, back into check-ins, back into new setups, and we just nail today. We take every day as it comes, day by day, not wishing away this prep, because before we know it, it's going to be done. March until July the 19th. It's been some shift, but we'll be setting some clear goals for when the prep is done and attacking them. But let's go get legs absolutely annihilated. And I probably will not be able to walk tomorrow, but that's a sign of a good leg day. And we are back from that leg day. Absolutely brutal. When you don't train legs for a while and then you go back in training legs with full intensity, it is very hard. Leg day on the whole is hard as it is. But I enjoyed it. It was good. I do enjoy training legs. It is one of my favorite sessions to do, and the main reason for it is you've got to like mentally get yourself prepped, mentally get yourself in the zone. You know, going in training push, pull, arms can be easy, you know, but training legs, you have to amp yourself up. So I enjoyed it. It was a good one. But just to go over the training clips now and to give some value to you guys as well. So first exercise up, we have the seated calf raise. So the reason why I put calves at the start is simply because when I used to do them at the end of the session, I would either be completely fucked and not train them with full accuracy and intensity, or sometimes I would just skip them. I'm not going to lie, hence why my calves are shit. So what I've been doing over the past 12 to 18 months is putting my calf work at the start. Putting my calves at the start, getting them done and boxed off. And at the same time, I'm sort of mentally getting myself ready for the leg session on the whole itself. So what I'm really thinking about here is driving my heels forward. Okay, so pausing at the stretch, pausing at the short, so controlling the change of direction, and then just simply thinking about driving my heels forward and fully shortening that calf as much as possible. So next exercise, we have the adductor. Now with the adductor, the main cue that I'm thinking to myself is I'm trying to push my knees together, not my feet together. You know, and just by having that cue in your head of knees together, I feel as if you can just engage far more adductor. You know, if you're thinking like feet together, you're going to engage a little bit of hamstring. You know, it's not going to be as beneficial as if you're just thinking, let's get these knees together. And I'm pulling myself down as hard as I can. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my hands on the handles by the side of me, and I'm pulling myself down as hard as I can to generate as much force output as possible. Slow eccentric, and once again, controlling the change of direction. Pausing at the top, pausing at the bottom, and thinking knees together, not feet together. So adductors are nice and warm. What we move on to now is the seated hamstring curl. So with the seated hamstring curl, I like to get myself as fixed as I possibly can. Usually when I'm in Dubai and I'm training out at the dungeon, they've got like a seat belt that you can use to like put around your waist and onto the back pad. That is very beneficial because it stops the hip shift movement. Stops your hips shifting forward and shifting back. But with this, I really like this exercise. You know, really like this exercise. Simply thinking calves to hamstrings. Okay, you're locked in. Minimize the hip shift as much as possible by creating a stable base. And then what you want to think about is heels down and calves to hamstrings. Okay, and once again, controlling the change of direction. Pausing at the top, pausing at the bottom. No rep is rushed. Okay, we don't want to be rushing our exercises. We want to be taking our time. We want to be in full control. So training, complete failure. Physically couldn't have done another rep there. Nice and slow on the eccentric. And then we rack. So hamstrings, done. Now the hack squat. And I'm not going to lie, I was feeling this on my knees. Feeling this on my knees big time, to be fair. So I did actually drop the weight ever so slightly, just because I want my quads to be blown, not my knees. You know, so I was just being smart. I let the ego go, and I was like, right, do you know what? Let's just focus on my quads and not just focus on my ego, stick another plate on and my knees be absolutely blown. So what I'm thinking about here is generating as much force output as I can as well from the handles, pulling them down into me. Okay, really slow on the way down and then driving through my heels. What I'm not allowing for here is my heels to come off the pad. I've got dodgy knees as it is, and I used to squat with my heels coming off the pad, and what I was finding is that it was just damaging my knees long term. And I was like, right, I need to sort this out, to be fair. So as I'm coming down into the stretch, I'm thinking about sitting into my heels and then driving up nice and hard, keeping full range of motion, keeping full composure. You know, from the first rep, this felt absolutely brutal, you know, but this is where it matters the most. You know, nice and slow, hard concentric, and once again, guys, training to true failure. No 3, 4, 5 reps in reserve. You know, unless I'm on peak week, which will be next week, where I'll be training with 1 to 2 reps in reserve. At the minute, with there being no show on this weekend, we train a failure. We take it there. Okay. Then next exercise, the leg press. Now, this is something that I did reduce the load on as well. In all fairness, the calves, the adductor, the hamstring curl progressed. Hack squat and leg press did come down ever so slightly. It will be because I haven't done like compound work with legs in quite some time. But at the same time, I'm just being smart with my knees, you know, like because I haven't trained legs in quite some time, my knees were feeling it a bit in today's session. So what I was thinking about here is like, right, okay, let's reduce the load ever so slightly, you know, and let's just go for better control. Range of motion, spot on, control, tempo, we've got it dialed in. You know, I could have put 5 plates aside on this as I was usually doing, rush through the set, blown my knees out, but I'm not training my knees. I'm training my quads, you know, and my legs, essentially, you know. So sometimes with your training, guys, you've just got to be smart, you know, leave the ego at the door. I could have gone in and done 5 plates, but I know it would have just absolutely destroyed my knees. And at the end of the day, we're here to stimulate muscle tissue, not damage our joints. Okay, so this once again absolutely brutal. When you're focusing a lot on tempo and just really controlling that change of direction, it's absolutely brutal. You can make 3 plates feel like 6 plates. So enjoyed this one. It was a solid set, nice and slow, nice and controlled. 2 sets here in between 8 to 12, and it's fair to say my quads were smoked after it. But then we go on to the leg extension. So leg extension, what we have here is also 2 sets. 2 sets, 8 to 10, then 10 to 15. And then took the knee sleeves off here. Mark Hodgson said to me before, if you're using knee sleeves on a leg extension, you're simply going too heavy. So that stuck with me. So knee sleeves off, nice and slow on the way down. Pause at the stretch, pulling myself into the seat. And then what I'm thinking about doing here, right, is I'm not just thinking feet up. I'm thinking feet forward, you know, and by doing so, I just feel a far greater connection through my quads and not my knees. You know, like I said, I do suffer with bad knees, you know, so what I do is instead of just thinking about kicking up, I think about dragging forward with a good squeeze at the top to drive as much blood flow into the quads as possible. And this being the second but last exercise, I was absolutely smoked, which brings us on to our last exercise, which is going to be the exercise that I think everyone hates the absolute most when it comes to legs, and that is the split squat. What a horrible exercise. And I just do this body weight. Like I said, my quads are absolutely smoked. Quads, hamstrings, glutes, everything's smoked at this point. So what I do is I just add this in as a finisher, you know, and I'm thinking about feeling every single muscle fiber as I'm doing this exercise. Slowing the way down, full range of motion, pausing at the stretch, coming up but not coming up all the way. As you can see, when I do come up, there is still a soft bend in my knee, and then I just come straight back down. So I come straight back down. I can feel it tearing the glute. You know, it feels horrible, but it also feels great at the same time. and I just do one set here. One set in between 8 to 15 reps. In between 8 to 15. But that is my legs absolutely smoked. And that is how I structure my legs A session. So that is the training clips. That is leg day boxed off. We're back now. We've caught up with some work. I've been back for a while, to be fair. It's 2:30 at the minute. So we've caught up with some work. Also prepped my cream of rice meals for tomorrow, just so I don't have to do them in the morning. And also rice is in the rice cooker, chicken's ready to cook, veg is ready to heat up. So I'll prep them 2 meals for tomorrow as well. So there'll be 4 meals prepped and ready. And then all I have to do tomorrow in terms of cooking is eggs and mushrooms, because it is a rest day. So looking forward to it, and it's going to be well needed after that leg day today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into more check-ins. We've also got a new setup to do. So Keelan's joining the team. Start editing this YouTube video, putting the clips together, and then getting ready for another big day tomorrow. So another day to get after it. We'll get ahead of check-ins today as well for tomorrow, simply because I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So all Wednesday feedbacks have been done, have been sent out. So what I'll do is I'll just get ahead of the Thursday check-ins, set up an onboard Keelan, and then tomorrow we've got a nice evening of calls as well. And just a usual day, guys. You know, my life isn't too fun at the minute. It's just rinse and repeat, work, gym, work, gym, work, gym. But 19th of July, when the show's done, we'll have a little bit more balance. Being able to go and work in Costa, have a nice coffee, little things that I'll be valuing the most, in my opinion, you know. So I'm looking forward to it. But let's crack on with some work. I'll pick up with you guys later just to cap off the video. But I hope you took some value away from the training clips. And I will see you guys very shortly. And that is going to be a wrap on today's video, guys. So short, sharp one today. Just mainly going through my leg day. You know, I know I've taken you on like show weekends and stuff recently and full days of eating. So I wanted to give a bit more value around training. But it's 7 o'clock now. Final meal is just gone in the microwave, which is going to be 170 beef mince, 50 grams of raw weight rice, and then 100 grams of veg. But I feel absolutely ruined, very tired. It always catches up with me towards the end of the day. Just got off my last call now. Few bits to finalise after my meal, and then we're going to try and unwind for half hour before bed. But hopefully get an early night, because I know tomorrow is going to be another early start, but it is a rest day, thankfully. So steps have been increased, so we're at 12k steps per day, and I'm currently on 11,962. So just by walking around, going upstairs, brushing my teeth, we're going to get 12k steps done. So walking pad, I will not have to jump on that after this meal, to be fair. And it is absolutely cooking as well. So the weather is getting warm and getting a lot warmer, which I'm not a big fan of, because in this conservatory out here where I do all my work, it's like a fucking sauna in there. So that's going to be fun over the next upcoming days. Going to have to get a fan in there, or else I'm just going to overheat and be absolutely boiling. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to cap off the video here. I'm going to have my final meal, finish off some work, and then hopefully get a good night's sleep. So I will catch you guys in the next one. As always, if you like the video, please like it, comment and subscribe. We're almost at 400 subscribers, which is fucking epic. And we're chasing 500. 750 is a goal by the end of the year. So if you are watching these videos and you're not subscribed, then please do. But let's get this final meal in. Let's finish off some work and let's get to bed.